We have an incredible show. We're going to bring you some very interesting folks all about self-empowerment, how to make your life better, starting with Dr. Carmen Harra, who is, now you're very interesting in that you are an intuitive, you're a PhD, you're a clinical psychologist, you're a metaphysical person, you've written 4 books, you got a new one coming out, we'll talk about that in a second, but it's very unusual to find someone who is both a PhD and an intuitive, both psychology and parapsychology.
Usually psychologists don't believe in parapsychology, but if you go back to Freud and Carl Jung, his student believed a lot in the ability of the brain to break the chronology and go beyond linear time and anticipate events.
By the way, if you have any questions as we're going along here, you can write us strategyroom at foxnews.com, strategyroom at foxnews.com. We'd like to incorporate your questions, your emails into what we're talking about here today. So you are, your new book, the new one coming out, The 11 Eternal Principles, and that is a kind of a follow-up in some ways to The Secret, right? Although you go way beyond what The Secret, which was a phenomenon a couple of years ago.
It shows that the book, The Secret, talks about only one ingredient in a recipe. So it goes back to the ancient teaching of the law of attraction. That is a process, as a mind process. You know, everything is in the mind. So what you think you become. So you attract things in your life. But if you don't integrate all the other components and the other universal principles, so this law is not going to work. You know.
So first of all, the law of attraction, just to back up for 1 second, is what you think about is what you become, and you attract. If you have negative thoughts, you attract negative people.
Exactly. Right. And it also goes back to Socrates 2,500 years ago, who said that the higher level of your being is the level of the mind. And this saying was then translated by Descartes, the French philosopher, who says what you think you become. He was the first one saying that. And then, of course, going to Einstein, who said you cannot change your life with the same thoughts. You have to change your thoughts and then change your life.
So I think Wayne Dyer wrote a book, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life.
Yes, and he also, that was based on Albert Einstein philosophy, that with the same thoughts you will never transform your life for better.
So is it just as simple as I just change what I'm thinking and my life will change?
No, it's not as simple. It's not as simple. It's a mind process, and it's an inner process. You know, it happens inside yourself. So we always feel like so demoralized about the outside world. We think, oh, my boss doesn't like me, or I can never succeed. And you start your day by saying, oh, I'm not lucky. So
the economy's tanking.
So
the
economy, what am I to do? So this process of the mind will never help us break through. So it's a very complex process of the mind that you can break through and empower yourself.
Well, let's talk about the 11 principles. By the way, actually, before we talk about that, I want to talk about your prediction. You predicted some stuff about Hillary Clinton. We're going to just fix your mic there. We're very informal here at the Strategy Room. You actually met Hillary a couple of times.
I did.
You told her in 2000 that she would run for president?
No, in 96 that she would run. In 96 I predicted that she will become the senator of New York, and then she will run in 2008.
So you knew that. But you've also predicted that she would become President of the United States.
Exactly.
You still believe that to be true?
I still believe that to be true.
Really?
Yeah.
You wonder how that's going to happen?
Well, we'll
you know what year it'll be?
We'll see. I really believe that something is going to happen, and I really believe that the female divine energy is coming in power in the stage of our evolution. So we see more women everywhere, you know, in position of power.
But let's say, does Barack Obama get 2 terms?
No.
He doesn't?
No. That's my prediction.
Does he complete his first term?
I think so.
And then something happens?
And then something happens, and then she will become
She'll be the next
president? Yeah.
So you are saying right here, right now, we have the prediction on the Strategy Room, Barack Obama, 1-term president.
Yes.
And the next president of the United States is Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
So are they going to vote him out, or is he not going to run again?
I think he's not going to run again.
Really?
Yeah.
So
you know, people resonated with the concept of change, because that's what we need to do in this world today. But is this amazing change that is much bigger than actually changing only economy, and you know, it's the change within ourselves, because we reach a stage in our evolution we cannot continue this destructive course of the human race is set on. So
where do you go? Well, by the way, we're strategyroom at foxnews.com. Just checking some emails here, which I want to get to in a second. Strategyroom at foxnews.com. Where do you go to get information like Barack Obama's a 1-term president, not going to run again. Hillary Clinton. Where does that come from?
I'll give you an example. It comes from breaking chronology, breaking the physical, the tangible, you know, and going into what is called the future, something that we don't really believe in because we don't see, we don't touch, so it's not tangible. So,
right.
And it's sort of playing, you know, with the future and sort of anticipating events. I published this book almost 10 years ago.
Everyday Karma?
Everyday Karma. I talk in my book about everything that's happening now 10 years ago. I
really?
talk about the crash of the economy.
So if people read your former book,
my first book, published by Random House, my first book, they will see all my predictions.
That it all came
that
true.
all came
so you'd
true.
actually go back and it's on the record.
I go back on the record, and it is everything here. And
so
it was written 10 years ago.
Does it come from some other source?
It comes from as I said, from that intuitive mind that we all have. We all have the ability to go beyond the physics and anticipate events that are about to happen. Think of all the predictions in the Bible. Think of the fact that there are more prophets in the Bible than anywhere. That the prediction that have been made by Nostradamus. In 2003, I had someone from Daily News in my office on Fifth Avenue, and he was asking me, what's going to happen? Forget about 2004. What's happening in 2008? I said, it's going to be Hillary running, and then there's a woman, a Republican woman, that will be in the race with Hillary. Now, nobody saw that woman. Yeah. And then in September, Sarah Palin. I said, Republican.
Well, you say race with Hillary, but she was on the other side.
Yeah, she was on the other side, but I said she will be. We will see two women in 2008, and that was only Hillary.
Are you ever wrong?
Well, you can be wrong, absolutely.
you
can be wrong.
You ever get that information?
Yeah, sometimes you can be wrong, definitely. It's just only 90-93% of being accurate. But I definitely see the women, and I do see the woman as a president in 2012. And don't forget, 2012 is the end of the Mayan calendar.
Yes.
It's the end of our one stage in our evolution.
What does that mean? I've heard this many times, 2012.
It doesn't mean anything bad. It doesn't.
A lot of people think that's the end of the world in 2012.
No, not at all. The world will never end for another 3 million years. 3
million?
You know?
You think
absolutely.
That we can have that much?
That much time. As long as we have the sun, the source of the universe, as long as we have light, there's life, and there's transformation, there's survival. Will the world look the same in another 4,000 years? No, we may not have the same continents. We may not have oceans. You know, we might have. If you can go with the mind further down in the future, you see a total different world.
I'd be surprised, given nuclear power and given the misuse thereof, that we actually have 3 million years left. And
I don't think we'll use the nuclear power.
And that we don't destroy the planet.
I don't think we'll destroy the planet. I think we reached the worst moment in our evolution. This is the worst.
This is the worst moment right now?
This is the worst moment. This is the worst. From here, as we reach 2012, the level of perception is changing for better. It will stop that destructive course till 2033. 2033 is another turning point in our evolution.
Really?
And then
I hope we're all around in 2033.
Well, because now we're going to live longer lives. We're going to live longer lives.
Here's somebody who writes. We have a Rosalinda from Cary, North Carolina. Carmen, do you think that, I don't know if you can tune into Rosalinda, do you think all of my hard work will pay off for me at work, and will there finally be a serious relationship in my life?
Yeah, from now on to March of 2010, someone comes in her life that has a D initial, and she just has to work on her self-esteem and breaking some of the depressive old habits, you know, and she will definitely turn her life around, and it will pay off, absolutely.
You think so? Okay. I want to make sure I'm getting all the new emails. I think our emails are coming in. StrategyRoom@foxnews.com. Let's talk about, we're talking to Carmen Harra. It's CarmenHarra.com, by the way. Your upcoming book. And by the way, it's interesting, you look at Everyday Karma, and the things that are happening now are predicted in this 10-year-old book.
Because all I talk is about the concept of karma. You know, there's global karma. Everything that humanity has ever done in the last 2,000 years is still here. Think of the Middle East. Think of the war, the ongoing war. You know, I talk about this war 11 years ago writing this book, and I said it's going to go on for 15 years. That's what I said in my book, and it's still going on.
Let's talk about 15 years, huh? So the war in Iraq, you're talking about? Iraq?
I talk about the war in the Middle East. I even
15
predicted
years.
this in '99 on Fox. On Fox, I predicted the war in Iraq 5 years before it happened.
All right, the 11 eternal principles start, and the law of attraction is one of them. But you're
It's
saying,
one of them.
you say
There are
that's
many
not,
of them.
Yeah, but that's not enough. You
Of
can't
course,
just
it's not
live
enough.
according to that one
It's just
principle.
you can't.
So you mentioned the law of attraction, which is think the right thoughts, think positive thoughts. That means you attract what you think
You
about.
attract what you put in the universe is manifesting into your physical reality.
What are some of the other principles that
The law of karma, the most significant law, the law of spirit, the number one law of spirituality is actually the law of karma. Your actions, will follow you. When you die, all you take